and welcome. My name is Deidre Sirianni, and I am a spiritual guide, accelerated evolution guide, and I help people move through physical, mental, emotional, and energetic barriers that are in the way of living your best life and making the impact that you're really here to make, living in truth, love, and being in alignment with your purpose and your most expressed self. So you're joining me today under one of my favorite trees in my neighborhood that somebody out there decided to put a swing on, and I'm so grateful for whoever that person is, because who doesn't like to be on a swing, am I right? So in today's conversation, I want to talk about something that is a universal law. And there's a lot going on in the world always, but especially right now more than ever. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of controlling. There's a lot of funky things that are going on in every capacity. And naturally, as humans, we're reacting to it. And we're trying to find our ground, make things right, and also understand ourselves on a deeper level, as well as others, and also feel safe, feel heard, feel understood, and know that we are taking care of ourselves, right? So I want to unravel that a little bit more today and talk about the path of least resistance. And so universal law is that when we have that push energy, that force energy, the I need to, I have to, things should be this way, that energetic push energy, what happens is we naturally create these blocks and these barriers. Just like with people, if you're not nice to them, well, they're probably not going to necessarily be nice to you back, right? So the way you respond to what's going on around you is what you are going to receive back. So with the push energy, with that will energy, with that trying to control energy, what happens is there's always a pushback. Whereas in the universe, when you're in a space of flow and noticing and observing and being aligned with the truth of who you are, which is love, abundance, connection, joy, and purpose, you can be received more fully by those around you, and you can be more influential. And so I'm bringing this up because when we fight, when we argue, when we try to be seen, heard, and understood, and we have that push energy of shouting or screaming or making others wrong, what happens is we create more separation. We create more separation from ourselves and others, and we forget that we are one. And so in order to manifest, in order to create, in order to influence, in order to receive and be in a space of love, abundance, joy, co-creation, all of the things that as humans we want to have, connection, it's really truly about being connected to our heart. So the question that I have for you, probably one of the many questions, as I love to ask my questions, is when you are interacting online with people, when there is conflict and someone's sharing something that maybe you don't agree with or don't understand, are you approaching it and responding it from a place of love, or are you stuck in your belief systems, your patterns, your own self, and trying to protect and project what you think another being should think, do, and be and create? And when that happens, you become less influential, you create more separation, and you create the path of most resistance. Just like if I were to walk down the street and someone started yelling at me, would I want to have a conversation with that person? Absolutely not. I would be like, I'm going to cross the street and, go to the other direction. I'm going to avoid that person, because even if they have something really valid to say to me, the fact that they're yelling at me and not really being in a space of love, of responding, of the invitation, they no longer had that opportunity to have an impact on me. So the purpose of the video is to invite you into this space of non-resistance communication, non-resistance life, into a space of beingness, which is the path of least resistance. So my next question for you is, do you feel like you're in the fight? Do you feel like you have to, slash through all the noise in your life in order to be seen, heard, and understood? And if that is how you feel, and you feel like you're in a place of struggle, I want to invite you to know and understand that the struggle is only as real as you make it. And when you feel the struggle, it's always a war within yourself, even when you think it's a war within someone else. This is like elementary school stuff. And it's funny because as humans, as adults, we have to remind ourselves of this, of in school, when you read a book, is this person in conflict with themselves? Is it conflict with others? Who is this main character in conflict with? And the truth is, anything that we are seeing and experiencing outside of us is really a conflict within ourselves. So how can you ground more and deeper into your heart, into your mission, into what matters most to you? And how can you respond to what you see from a place of love, from a place of unity, from a place of clarity, and align yourself with those who have the same vision as you to move that forward with ease and grace? Because the truth is, one of the biggest things that can block us from experiencing love, abundance, joy, bliss, expansion, creation, and influence and impact in our life is we are too busy sometimes in conflict with those that don't agree with us, and we're not seeing the path of least resistance, which is the path of taking the next best step, which is the path of doing the thing that your heart is calling you to do, because that's what you're being called to do. So if you're someone who has a mission, a purpose, and you're feeling like you are going against the grain, that you have a point to make, that you don't feel like you're being heard, understood, and there's all this chaos and stuff going on in the world and in your life, and you find yourself feeling frustrated, I want to invite you to feel that frustration internally, come back to your heart, share and operate from that heart center space, and then take massive inspired action in the space that's going to move you forward. And if you want to influence the masses, if you want to influence those who are not necessarily aligned or seeing your point of view, soften, open, come to a space of understanding, see and hear and try to understand what they are doing, and from a space of kindness, of love, of connection and flow, then speak your truth. But when there is the edges, when there are the swords, when we are trying to battle, and when we're in the struggle, it's because we created the struggle ourselves. Because the truth is, the struggle isn't real. The struggle is only as real as you make it. And law of the universe is nature just flows and it grows. There is no fight. So if you are in a space of struggle and fight in your life, I want to invite you back to your heart, to connect deeply with your why of what is upsetting you in the world, what is upsetting you in your life, where you find yourself being in struggle. And I invite you to come back to yourself and know that every single person around you, everything that you are seeing outside of you, is a direct reflection of the battle within yourself. And when we choose to take the path of least resistance, and we choose to take those steps in the direction that makes our soul feel alive and fire, that supports our greater good, we are more influential to the masses. We are creating the change that we wish to see in the world, and it doesn't come from being in battle with those who are not necessarily seeing your point of view. And if you want to be heard and understood and seen for what it is that you want to bring in, make sure that when you are triggered, that when stuff is coming up for you, when you do see duality in this world, that you're operating from your heart center, from a place of connection, from a place of your infinite self, and not your deeper programming, which is fear, which is separation, which is programming, which is belief systems that you've taken on in the past. And through that space of connection and alignment and taking those next steps and connecting with those who have the same path as you, that is where the movement begins. That is where the momentum begins, because the struggle isn't real, my friend. It's only as real as we make it. There's a lot going on in the world, and I'm not here to say that everything that's going on is can just disappear. But what if all you had to do in your life was listen to the nudges, was listen to the pulls, was do the things that make you feel alive and good and happy and fulfilled? And what if that was enough? What if that was your path? And what if doing the things that made you feel good every single day and connecting with the people who have a similar mission and moving forward with that, what if that was your path? And what if the protesting or the fight that you're in, the battle that you're in right now within yourself, and within the world? What if that was a distraction from you moving forward powerfully on your purpose, with your truth, with your mission, with your vision, with all that you are? So that is the message of the day. That's the conversation of the day, my friends. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I invite you, when the triggers come up, when you find yourself in battle with yourself or others, to connect back with your heart and know that everything magical happens there, and anything that is separate or in a space of violence, in a space of being in battle with others, it's simply an illusion, and it's a place that maybe you've been taught to play in, but it's not your true self. So sending you lots of love on this beautiful day, because the struggle isn't real, it's only as real as you make it. And the path of least resistance is the path of joy, is the path of connection, is the path of your heart, and everything else is a distraction. Sending you lots of love. Mwah!